Check out carmarshal.com. The link is in the description. They help support us.
Pharma Co. has license suspended as vaccine blamed for sterilization of 500,000 women and children. Raila Odinga, who swore himself in as president of Kenya this week, has claimed their tests prove the government's tetanus vaccine has sterilized hundreds of thousands of women and children. By Matt Agarist, February 3, 2018. A state-sponsored forced sterilization on a massive scale has allegedly taken place in Africa, according to opposition leaders and the public who are railing against the government. An industrial pharmaceutical laboratory has since had its license suspended by the Kenya Accreditation Service as a result of the controversy. Kenya's opposition leader Raila Odinga, who swore himself in as president on Tuesday, claimed that at least 500,000 young girls and women may be infertile, following a tetanus vaccine administered by the government in 2014 and 2015. The controversy began coming to a head in 2016 when AgriQuest Ltd, a Nairobi-based pharmaceutical company, got in a dispute with Kenya's Ministry of Health over their tetanus and polio vaccinations. A group of Catholic doctors originally made the accusations, claiming that the vaccines may contain a hormone that is dangerous to young women and can cause potential sterilization. As the Agence de Presse Africaine reported. Advertisement. Odinga said girls and women aged between 14 and 49 from the fastest growing populations in the country will not have children, because of a state-sponsored sterilization exercise that was sold to the country as a tetanus vaccination. The Catholic Church was ignored when it mounted a strong but lonely campaign against the mass tetanus vaccination, after it raised concerns about the safety of the vaccine that was being used, he said. At the time, the Catholic Church in Kenya claimed that the tetanus vaccine used by the government of Kenya and UN agencies was contaminated with a hormone, HCG, that can cause miscarriages and render some women sterile. The Church's position was informed by what had happened in Mexico, Nicaragua, and Philippines, where the various governments together with WHO/UNICEF had conducted similar campaigns using tetanus toxoid impregnated with beta-human chorionic gonadotropin, BHCG, that causes permanent infertility among girls and women, Odinga continued. Odinga says they confirmed through analysis of samples that the vaccines used were tainted with the hormone. Today, we can confirm to the country that the Catholic Church was right. Hundreds of thousands of our girls and women, aged between 14 and 49, from the fastest growing populations in the country will not have children, because of the state-sponsored sterilization that was sold to the country as tetanus vaccination, he declared. After AgriQuest's license was suspended, the company pointed the finger at the government. They claimed that the government's decision to suspend their license was due to the fact that AgriQuest refused to doctor the tests for them. According to Business Daily Africa, when AgriQuest conducted the tests on the vaccines, they found the Catholic Church's suspicions to be correct. As BDA reported, the company's results from tests carried out on the vials showed that the samples of the vaccines were contaminated as had been claimed by the Catholic Church, and AgriQuest claimed the government wanted the results altered to show that they were fit to be administered to women and children. According to Odinga, as reported by APA, the government, for some mysterious reason, was hell-bent on misleading the country, while intentionally sterilizing Kenyan girls and women. The vaccines were a great crime committed against women. Women should choose when to have children and how to space them, he said. It is important to point out that the belief that tetanus vaccination sterilizing citizens has been a long-time controversy in Kenya and has been disproven prior to these claims. Also, after the discussion came to a head, in spite of claims of tests showing contamination, UNICEF and the World Health Organization later said that the vaccines were safe and procured from a pre-qualified manufacturer. However, according to Odinga, they accessed the analysis from 4 highly regarded institutions, such as AgriQuest Ltd, the Nairobi Hospital Laboratories, the University of Nairobi and Lancet Kenya. These results all indicate that the tetanus toxoid vaccine had high contents of beta-human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, BHCG, that causes sterility in women.
While you're watching KTN News Desk Live pictures, we're bringing you there from the Capitol Hill, the offices of NASA presidential candidate Raila Odinga, who's expected to make a statement. A battery of journalists just ready there, awaiting the NASA presidential candidate to make his address live from the Capitol Hill, seemingly not together with the other co-principals like they have been having the rest of the press briefings we have been seeing today. Addressing that particular, addressing the media today, just alone. Final consultations there with one of his aides, Dennis Onyango, before he addresses the media. Any minute now, we are all systems go for that address. Quickly, let's just cross over there to the Capitol Hill and listen in.
Yesterday, I promised Kenyans that I was going to talk today about a subject which is of great national importance. This is the issue of tetanus vaccination, which you say was targeted mass sterilization program. And we are saying that the Catholic Church was right. Tetanus vaccination was a targeted mass sterilization program. Kenyans will recall that in the late 2014 and early 2015, the Catholic Church mounted a strong but a lonely campaign against the mass tetanus vaccination in the country and raised concerns about the safety of the vaccine that was being used. The Church position was informed by what had happened in Mexico, Nicaragua, and Philippines, where the various governments, together with the World Health Organization, UNICEF, had conducted similar campaigns using tetanus toxoid impregnated with the beta human chorionic gonadotropin, that is BHGCG, that causes permanent infertility among girls and women. The government of Kenya proceeded with the program without providing any proof that the church was wrong. In recent days, some concerned Kenyans have approached us with analysis of samples that were used in this exercise, which we proceeded to cross-check with other experts. Today, we can confirm to the country that the Catholic Church was right. Hundreds of thousands of our girls and women aged between 14 and 49, from the fastest growing populations in the country, will not have children because of the state-sponsored sterilization that was sold to the country as tetanus vaccination. We have assessed analysis from 4 highly regarded institutions: AgriQuest Limited, Nairobi Hospital Laboratories, the University of Nairobi, and Lancet Kenya. These results all indicate that the tetanus toxoid vaccine had a high content of beta human chorionic gonadotropin hormone, which is BHCG, that causes sterility in women. The government, for some mysterious reason, was hell-bent on misleading the country while intentionally sterilizing Kenyan girls and women. The Catholic Church had the vaccine tested at Lancet, the University of Nairobi, and the Nairobi Hospital. The Ministry of Health immediately disputed the results, and these institutions appeared to back down from their findings, apparently under pressure from the government. The matter was then referred to the Parliamentary Committee on Health, which directed that a joint committee be formed, bringing together representatives of the Church and the state to test the vaccines. It is this joint committee that appointed the AgriQuest on the 10th of December 2014 to conduct the tests. The Pharmacy and Poisons Board, apparently keen to circumvent the process in favor of the government, wrote to the lab asking them to restrict themselves to determining the presence and quantity of beta HCG in each viral. A Greek quest established the presence of BHCG to the tune of less than 5 milligram units per milliliter or 5 milli international units per liter. Medical experts say this is an extremely high presence of the substance. Vaccines are never supposed to have this substance at all. We have established that on or around 5th and 6th of January 2015, the testing laboratory persistently called the joint KCCB/MOH committee of experts wanting to present the results, but the Ministry of Health showed great resistance. Based on the results that are now available to us and which we are sharing with the public, it is clear that the tetanus vaccination is one of the most callous human rights abuses committed against innocent girls and women in Kenya, whose only crime was to trust the state. The number of victims is hard to ascertain as at now, because the state has remained extremely cagey on the matters, and those who participated were never issued with any form of confirmation or certification to that effect. However, back in 2014, the Catholic Church said that at least 500,000 women might not be able to bear children after being injected with contaminated tetanus vaccines. Indeed, test results in our possession indicate that some of the women who got this vaccination have since sought further tests and obtained results indicating that they can never carry a pregnancy unless a process of reversing the effects is initiated. This is a deliberate action on the part of the government. At that time, Bishop Paul Kariuki, who is the chair of the Catholic Health Commission of Kenya, asked whether there was a tetanus crisis in Kenya and why it was not declared. The Catholic Bishop of Bungoma, which is one of the places the vaccine was used, also opposed the drive and questioned its necessity. We have established that a similar program was to be rolled out in Kenya way back in 1995, but the Minister for Health then, the late Hon Joshua Ngatia, raised alarm after being briefed by the Catholic Church, and it was abandoned until the Jubilee came to the scene. Sterilization without full, free, and informed consent is globally an involuntary, coercive, and or forced practice, and it's a violation of fundamental human rights, including the right to health, the right to information, the right to privacy, the right to decide on the number and spacing of children, the right to found a family, and the right to be free from discrimination. This is the greatest crime against humanity ever committed against the women of Kenya, and the most diabolical attempt at social engineering. No one can tell the worth of a woman's fertility or sterility. We demand that the government provides a complete list of all those who took part in this vaccination, apologizes to them, and explain how it intends to reverse the damage. Upon coming to office, NASA will set up a task force to establish a detailed catalogue of the victims. The task force will recommend appropriate compensation for the victims, assign responsibility, and initiate ways of reversing the damage. Medical experts have assured us that the enforced sterility can be reversed if victims show up for emergency interventions. Thank you. Thank you. That you can see. This is a report from AgriQuest, a laboratory analysis report, the Joint Committee of Experts on Tetanus Toxoid Vaccine Testing, done on behalf of the Ministry of Health and Kenya Catholic Health Commission. We will give you copies of this, soft copies. This is a report from Nairobi Hospital. This is a report from the University of Nairobi College of Health Sciences. This is a report from Lancet, Kenya, which is a well-established laboratory. So you'll be able to get soft copies of these reports, which confirm exactly what is contained in the statement that you have read here this afternoon. Yes.
Smriti Vidyarthi from NTV. I believe that the HCG hormone is caused naturally in a woman's body when she's pregnant. And if she's trying to become pregnant, say through IVF, the HCG hormone is injected into her. So can you explain how the HCG hormone that you're saying was present in the tetanus injection caused infertility?
This is what we have explained in the statement here, because this was supposed to be anti-tetanus vaccination. But it had turned out not to be an anti-tetanus vaccination. It's shown that this vaccination was actually causing sterility among women. And these tests which have been carried out, the results of which you're going to see here, confirm that fact. So that's why I think that is the explanation which should come from the government, not from me, why this was being done.
County, this is Charlotte County COPWATCH, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too, because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County COPWATCH with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me and I'm sick of it, so I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave let's say actually yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it. 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby, I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, you know, if I got, you know, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. You know, 47,000 of you so far right now. You know, $1 a day. I mean, $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.